Hoo-hoo! It's Wednesday. It's
Yo, how's
sometime
it going?
somewhere. Ooh,
Wow.
I'm good and very hot.
Yes, you are. I'm
Thanks
sorry.
for that. I needed
You
that.
needed that
Yeah.
confidence booster, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, this is. I'm not sure if it's also a Dutch thing, but actually, we always like to complain. So when it's raining, the weather is terrible. But now it's like almost 30 degrees, and now it's also terrible because now it's too
Yeah,
hot.
for those of you that are in the US, 30 degrees is about 90 Fahrenheit. It's about 90, somewhere
Thanks.
around there.
I know who to call when I need a conversion next time.
So basically, what you do, you say that
Yeah, yeah.
70 is 20,
Mm-hmm.
and 1 degree Celsius above of 20 is 2 Fahrenheit. So 20 is 70. So if you want to do 30, so difference between 20 and 30 is 10. So to
Yeah.
70, you add twice that.
Yeah.
So
So 90.
70 becomes 90.
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna try to remember that because it is
It's a
convenient.
bunch of mental math. The thing is, I can do temperatures kind of well. For the life of me, I cannot do inches, feet, and gallons.
No, but that's
I've been
it is crazy stuff, right? I saw that comparison like picture when going
Yep.
from inches to feet to inches, and it's like wow, that's I really like envy people who can do that out of the top of their head.
The
Like
thing is, only people that can do it from the top of their heads are Canadians.
oh, yeah, because they're the one they,
Yeah.
they need to recalculate every time.
They are stuck with
Yeah.
both systems.
I know,
They are
yeah.
stuck with both systems.
Yeah, that could have been the case with the US as well. Like they tried to switch to metric. Where was it? Something far away.
It's not necessarily, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just
Until recently, there was an interstate in the US which uses kilometers. Yeah,
so
you can
then
look
you
it up.
see a speed limit of 120 and people go 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it also so in the US, of course, the exits are numbered by the number of miles that
Yes,
they are.
because
Like,
basically interstate highways need to have an exit every mile.
oh, that's why.
That's why.
That's not true every time, but
Most of them do. Basically, the big I interstates, they need to have an exit every mile.
oh, so with this interstate, there's still an exit, but then every kilometer. So the exits are still numbered based on kilometers. I need to look up which interstate that is. I'm not making this up. There's really so there was a point in time, I forgot when the US decided like now it's time to switch to metric, and at that time that interstate was built. So they were like,
Yeah.
looking at the future, we should do kilometers as well on this interstate, and that's how. And then at some point, things changed, opinions, everything changed, and then they're like, let's stick with the imperial system, and then
It's
they
just
were stuck
people
with that
got used
interstate.
to it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why Roman numerals look like the way they look like?
I used to know that. I don't know.
It's because of human hand. Because 5 is a V, 10 is basically 2 5s, basically up and down. 50 is just the L, right? Because you can basically gesture them. For people that wouldn't know languages for big trade things, you basically could use your hands to, because this is 5, this is 10, and so on and so forth.
So it's kind of one of the first, let's say, sign languages, but then with numbers.
Yeah, because money. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that always the reason in the end? Like,
of course,
money.
I'm of a strong opinion that when Phoenicians invented money, they invented too little of it.
Yeah.
But as soon as they did it, the word "thank you" became obsolete.
True, that's true. Yeah, what I also find interesting about money, just to continue on that topic and not the topic we're talking about today, is that at some point they switched from silver coins to nickel coins because the silver price got so high that actually the value of the coin itself was more than the value it was indicating.
Yep, that's why pennies should go away, right?
Yeah.
0.01 euro coins and pennies that are basically 1 cent, and minting 1 cent is like 3.4 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay, how are we gonna make the switch from money and measurements to SUAD join and hybrid join? Can we
I
find a
don't know.
bridge
I
here?
don't have a segue for you. I
No,
have
no,
no clue. I
normally
have
I
no clue.
can. No, me neither. So let's just segue into it. So you basically destroyed our lab.
I have my own lab. So if you
Oh.
start showing my screen in a scene,
Hmm.
we can go ahead and yep.
There
So
we are.
we'll be starting about this. So we have bunch of technical documentation that is spread out about the way you hybridize your devices, and fortunately or not, large amount of those documentation documents are hidden inside of Windows
Hmm.
Hello for Business documentation.
There we go.
So basically, for those of you that don't know, your Windows devices can be joined to Azure in Azure AD in one of two ways. They can be either Azure AD joined, so basically joined to the cloud first, or they can be joined to on-prem AD and then hybridized up to the cloud. I call them vaporized because when you vaporize something, it turns into a cloud.
Uh-huh.
But it didn't catch on yet. I don't know why.
I like
Because
it,
maybe
but
it's an awful dad joke.
yeah, but I like it. But what I don't like about it is that you need to explain it. It should be
Yeah.
self-explainable if it should
No,
be
you
if you're
shoot
right.
a laser at your device and it
Yeah.
vaporizes up to the cloud. And your
But also,
laser, it's AD Connect.
okay, yeah, but that also make me think about the Windows 10 background, right? It's also a laser in. Do you remember that background? Like the first
Nope.
Windows 10 background,
Nope.
it looked like it was a Photoshop type of thing, but it was actually a real like
This one?
photo. Yeah, but this is the predecessor. The original one was lasers going through that Windows logo, and there was fog or whatever in the room, and that is how they created it. It was at the launch
No,
of
I
Windows
have no
10.
clue. I have no
Really, I
clue.
should look it up, but just give me 3 years because my machine is still slow. I will stop complaining about my slow machine on the show. That's
Yes,
yes,
we need a meme. We need a for
yeah.
those of you that are watching, please have a meme of Stefan with a slow machine. Basically, he's doing live streaming on a potato.
Yes, I am. I am. It's a Raspberry Pi. No, I
No,
actually,
Raspberry Pi would be faster.
yeah, exactly. That's what I think. Oh, okay. So it's made out of lights. So it's not lasers, but it is lights. And there is a video on. Let
Okay,
me
sure,
just. I will just share the link in the chat
cool.
to the YouTube video, and then you can, if you're interested, after the show, of course, you can watch the video where how the Windows 10 logo is has or
Copy
background has
link.
been created.
Let's see. Let's see if it's appropriate.
Hi, Neptocraft.
How's it going? We'll be talking about. I agree. It's a guest
SUAD
account.
join and hybrid
Yes,
SUAD
hybrid join will be joining devices, but Stefan gave me a link to video that we want to view. I have
Yeah,
no
you
clue
probably
what
want to
to.
skip a bit. There we go. This is how they created the logo or the background.
Oh,
Look,
oh
the
yeah, I remember
light
the
behind
square
it.
one.
Yeah, the
It was
square
the
one. Yeah, that one.
okay,
So,
okay.
and it looks like lasers, so that's why I thought about like the vaporizing version, shooting
Yeah.
lasers at clouds. I
So,
like it. Okay,
but
where were
coming
we?
back to the topic, when you
Yeah.
when you shoot a laser at your device, it can go into Azure. And when it comes, basically, I have two types of joins. I have device that got joined into on-prem AD. It's connected over a VPN to my virtual infrastructure where my domain controllers live, and I have Azure AD join device. You can tell this is AADJ because this one is the messy one. So, which one should we start with?
Maybe start with hybrid.
We want to start with the hard one, okay?
Yeah. And so the
So,
reason saying,
because
first of all,
because
because it's the
hybrid
hard
join is
one.
completely busted. AADJ kind of works. Hybrid join is completely
Ooh.
busted.
Okay, let's start with that one and first fix that one.
Okay, let's do hybrid. So this one is connected to our on-prem AD. And if you want to figure out what's going on with your device, basically you do one and all ds reg cmd/status. I don't know. Oh, I need to change my font. I was trying to make my font a little bit better and I broke it.
And now it looks like you're highlighting everything. You should do green with a black background.
No.
Matrix style.
No. Get out. You're not allowed.
Okay, bye.
No. Colors, screen background, screen text. Yeah.
Can I come back in?
You're excused, sir.
Thank
ds reg cmd/status. So right now, my device is not joined anywhere. Right now, my device is basically, when you put ds-reg cmd status, you will have a couple of sections: device state, user state, and single sign-on state. All of those say no. I have a bunch of errors. And basically this one, because I'm on 21H1, this diagnostic data, it's kind of nice. On anything older than 21H1, this one will not be there, and you will have to go to Event Viewer.
Yep.
So
we actually have a website with all the errors?
Sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't put that much faith into that website, but let's just say.
So maybe we can try that.
Yeah, basically, instead of going there, I would always start with event logs, because there is one and true and only event log when it comes to all types of join. And I'm expanding to it. It's called user device registration log.
Okay. So now it's
error.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is, we can try going to that website and we can look this one up.
If I would look for that, I would do that. I would go to that website and look up that Gracie 0x8007005 number.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy. Makes me think. I was rewatching the IT Crowd yesterday.
I saw your tweet.
and then at what I think it's episode 3, they changed the emergency number from 999 to 438, like a very long number. That makes me think about that error code. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, those error codes can be looked up with a command line tool called ERR. You can download it, and you can put in any hex. It scans your symbols on your system and will look up that error number.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there is a command line tool for looking up any kind of error in Windows.
Do they change the ERR? Do they change the name of that tool on Talk Like a Pirate Day?
I don't think so, but it would be fine. It would be fun. Yeah. User device registration. This is the log we want and need.
Is that enabled by default?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't need operational one. We are good enough with the administrative one. It's on by default. And it basically, this one will say, I tried authenticating the device, and it turns out that device doesn't exist in Azure.
Okay. So now I guess it's pretty small to read.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Now it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, this one is a little bit better. So basically, through an error, that device object given this ID is not found in Azure. Because the way it works, when you do hybrid registration, you do hybrid Azure AD joint in managed environments. Because my setup doesn't have ADFS or any federation provider, we will use this one. Because hybrid joint has two significant parts. First one is establishing a device trust between your device and Azure. And second is piggybacking on that trust and validating credential that was used to unlock that device.
Yep.
The device trust is basically a prerequisite to even validating user cred. It happens to be that when you unlock unlock your device, that's what triggers the establishing of a device trust. Basically, what happens when you have your user sign in with username and password, we look up what is your tenant. inside of the service connection point. Basically, there is an object that AAD Connect can create, or you can push via registry to see which tenant that device should try registering to. Then that device creates self-signed certificate, certlm.msc, local machine certificates. It creates a self-signed cert.
In the personal store of the machine?
No. It will be somewhere else. I don't remember where is it created.
You sure
it creates
not in the...
I don't remember if it's a user store or computer, because the personal one isn't here.
That depends on the OS version as well, right? I do recall,
like on Windows 10, it's not trusted roots. Not this one. I honestly don't remember. It's put somewhere.
I do think
it's basically a 24-hour lived self-sign.
Yeah, it should be in the personal store, but I think on Windows 10 it is computer.
I'm looking at
because
I'm looking at the computer store.
Yeah, because the registration is running in the computer context.
Yeah, this one is not here. It's basically kept in memory because these are my VPN certificates.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing always on. So basically, the device generates a self-signed cert, and it writes that cert into Active Directory. That's why the entire hybrid join needs to have a line of sight to a domain controller. So my device has a specific host name, right? This is my host name, desktop that ends with 5Q. So if I go into my Active Directory, users and computers, this is my device object. This is my computer object.
Yep.
So when we look at the attribute editor of that computer, there will be user certificate attribute that is here. And that certificate, it needs to be present for a device to get synchronized into AAD, and AAD will trust that cert. But my AAD Connect is busted.
Oh, what did you do?
I just turned off my sync schedule. So basically what happens when you do a sync, you need to do import on on-prem AD, delta import. Let's see what changed.
Okay, but normally the AAD Connect will take care of this.
Yes, it will do it within your sync schedule, right? Yeah. We have a couple of ads. When we click those ads, we'll see that we have this desktop that is being created. Right? We have some computer accounts, we have OUs, we have Stefan's account. We need to exclude you. We need to exclude the OU. Properties, partitions. We need to exclude containers. We don't want to synchronize because this is a different tenant. We don't want to synchronize 425 show into my tenant. Right?
Yeah. So this is a different tenant. Okay.
Yes. It's a completely different tenant. It's my own PFE Ninja tenant.
There we go. I see. Oh, now I looked at the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would do another delta import. Let's do full import just in case. Because we changed the OUs. It will be fast because the environment is small.
There's not that
but much. So you see I will have a couple of deletes. So those accounts that were kind of created, we will deprovision them because we don't want to have your accounts being pushed into AAD. So now we do something called sync run. We are doing delta sync.
That takes a little bit more effort.
This one is, again, this is local VM. So you will see projections. Projections basically provisioning ads, which objects will be added to AAD, right? It will be either this one. This one is Windows server. This one is just a Windows server. And this one, my guess, will be my desktop queue.
Yep,
so this one has a user certificate, right?
Ah, yeah.
So because I did the sync, now I can do an export. So going back to my Azure portal, I don't have that queue hybrid join device in my devices list, right? It's nowhere to be found here. Our end goal is for that device to show up here.
Yep. And so if I would just install everything, so I have AAD Connect installed. I have a new Windows 10 machine. I'm gonna domain join it. Will it then automatically sync to Azure AD at that point?
Yes. Basically, if everything is set up, because if I had my AD Connect up and running, it would be fine.
Okay.
But because it's not running, I wanted to show you what happens in the flow. So basically, we grabbed a computer object from on-prem AD, we pulled it into AD Connect. Now we will be exporting it into AAD.
Yep.
So this is the one, right? And we run an export.
And also that certificate creation on the Windows 10 machine.
Yes, it happens on every device unlock, right? Because it happens by default, it's on. So basically, if you have a GPO that says hybrid join is on, next time the device sees the service connection point in LDAP, or it sees a registry key that is service connection point, basically signaling, hey, this is the tenant you should be going to, it will generate that self-signed certificate, which is called basically fallback to sync join. Okay. Right? Because that's what we're doing is called sync join.
Yep.
It will say, I will prove that I have a relationship with LDAP by creating a self-signed cert.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that self-signed cert will be picked up by AD Connect, and I will use that self-signed cert to authenticate to AAD.
And that service connection point that you were talking about, are you going to talk about that later as well?
AAD Connect turned it on for me.
Okay, so AAD Connect, if you install AAD Connect, then it will create that connection point. Okay.
It's called, So we have two ads. One of them will be my desktop queue. So if I go to Azure portal and I refresh, this is my brand new hybrid join device, right?
It is.
The thing is, it still says pending.
Then you can see it. There we go. It's pending. Yep.
So let's make it a little bit bigger. So you will see devices that are pending. It means if you see devices that are pending, it means your hybrid join is not done yet.
Okay.
It means that AD Connect just pre-provisioned the account.
Okay.
So let's do something right. Let's do something cool. Let's log. And I'm still using local account to that machine. I'm not using AAD accounts. Let's log the device. Look how beautiful it is.
Where's that?
I have no clue.
Yesterday, yesterday the Windows 10 sign-in background were a bunch of llamas. They were very cute.
It really whips the llama's ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a big time fan of Winamp.
Yes. So I'm signing in.
Okay. Yeah. Local account.
I unlocked. So basically, on unlock, you will see bunch of events in the event log. That it needs to be dsreg cmd status. Or we can do dsreg cmd join. Basically, on next login to that workstation, we will try to authenticate.
Yeah, almost.
CMD. Shift Control Enter always runs as admin.
Yeah, that's a good shortcut.
It's triggering the task, right?
Okay.
So when we go back to the event log, and it will happen within 10 minutes, right? So we will do a refresh.
Ooh, a lot of stuff happened.
Bunch of events, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we started at 12 past. So this is device is healthy. We are looking up at our debug. We discovered our tenant. So I wish I could make it a little bit bigger.
I can do this one again.
Let's see this one. Let's see if I can do magnifier. Oh, I can do magnifier a little bit. Oh no, that's bad.
A lot of magnification.
That's bad. I'm sorry. I cannot do the magnifier because it will make my mouse unusable. So basically, we discovered our tenant. And there will be a bunch of those events.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them, none of them are basically kind of errors, right? It's just we run the task, and when we do dsreg-cmd/status, my information is a little bit different. So you will see that before it said that my device isn't Azure AD joined. It's only joined to my corp domain.
Yep.
So because I had AD Connect provisioned that cert, what happened, I used that cert to perform device authentication to AAD, generate a bunch of keys, and create a device object.
Yep.
That's what happened. So if I go into my...
So you basically did the steps that normally would happen automatically, right?
Yes, I just forced it, right? So you see I have 2 new certs here.
There they are.
These are device certificates. For this one is basically used for device-based conditional access and for device authentication through derived keys. And this one is used for remote desktop, P2P access.
I see.
So this one is running on a local computer. But we're not done yet, unfortunately.
I thought it looked great. It said yes.
It looks great, right?
Yeah.
So looks, I'm Azure AD joined, yes. I'm domain joined, yes. I have a device ID, which basically it's my computer object.
There you go.
I got enrolled into a tenant, right?
All the endpoints.
This is the part that gets busted.
I see.
So you remember I told you that initially we have device trust to AAD, and then we need to piggyback on that trust to validate a user credential.
Yep.
So if I do who am I, I'm just a local user. So I don't have Azure identity as a local user on that device. So if we go back to the Azure portal, that device should still...
Okay.
This is my desktop queue.
And it says...
this device is registered. So if I wanted to do device-based affinity for Intune enrollment and stuff like that, I would be fine right now. So anything that works in a device context would work. But if I had conditional access policy that required hybrid joint device, that user one wouldn't be able to do it.
Even if it's using
that user, because that user doesn't have Azure identity, Azure account.
Yeah, okay, so it cannot be mapped to a user in Azure AD.
Yes. So basically, as soon as we forced that join that entire certificate thingy, the pending state was removed. Right? Because this entire thing, install device cert in computer personal store, the point H, basically made my device not pending anymore. It means my device has a secure channel, Azure flavored secure channel to Azure AD.
So it just got lasered.
So it got vaporized. Yeah,
it got vaporized. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So basically,
it's catching on.
Yeah. I'm neurolinguistic programming you. So basically, we can switch our user. I will sign in with my domain account. And because I'm connected with my always on VPN, I can connect to a domain. So it will be john.doe, password, and let's see.
Password 123.
No, it's password. It's the regular one.
Oh, it's just without the 123.
Of course.
It's so easy sometimes. I'm so jealous. You grabbed a drink before we started. I forgot.
Yes, we will need a break halfway through. So
I'm out of.
Look at this beauty.
It's downstairs. We will probably get it during a break.
Yeah, and honestly, someone might ask, why would you need hybrid join at all, right? Basically, there are 3 main scenarios you might need hybrid join. Hybrid join A is a prerequisite for Windows Hello for Business. There is no Windows Hello for Business without hybrid join.
Okay.
Hybrid join basically can be one of the conditions and controls inside of conditional access policies. So you can say only my managed devices are allowed. And it's a prerequisite for auto enrollment into Intune for co-management. These are basically big three.
Yeah.
Hybrid join does not remove your dependency from on-prem AD. It simply doesn't.
But still, the caching, which normally goes on such a machine, is still the case, right?
Yes.
So if I'm not on the corporate network, I'm still able to sign in.
Yes, because cached credentials and such. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So our favorite thing. Holy moly, what's going on?
Wow, what are you doing?
I have no clue.
It looks like a Microsoft managed machine.
VMs are going cray-cray. My AAD VM is doing 3 gigs of memory now.
Wow.
So,
who am I? Isn't that the question of life? Who am I?
yeah.
You're John.
And you're turning into a robot. So.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay.
So, I'm John Doe in corp domain, right? I am, let's do dsreg cmd/status. It will be a little bit different. Chugging along.
Where's getting that status from? Really? Okay. There's the long list.
So, there is a difference.
Ooh.
I have Azure AD primary refresh token because I unlocked with a credential that is familiar to Azure. I can do basically right now, when I have this one saying yes, I can satisfy conditional access policies. I can enroll into Hello for Business. Yes. Who am I? Yes. Oh, Stefan, you are so way behind. If anyone can tell us if it's me or Stefan. Yes, he dropped. So, for all of you that basically complain and trying to figure out if your hybrid join is working correctly, you should basically check if Azure AD PRT says yes. Until it says yes, your entire hybrid join is straight up busted. It doesn't work, it will not work, and the main scenario, basically the way you troubleshoot the hybrid join, you go through dsreg cmd/status. First, you need to have your device state set up properly until you basically have a tenant ID here in tenant details. You don't have a secure channel. Most of the time, it shows an error or a bug or misconfiguration in your AD Connect. You need to synchronize your computer objects. So your computer objects with that user certificate attribute can be synchronized up to Azure. So when you have this one set up, your hybrid join gets this beautiful thing. So when you launch Edge, for instance, or any of the Office suite, you will get seamlessly single signed on. Because my VMs are hella slow. And yeah, basically you look at device details. If your device details are fine, let's see who's up and running.
Is there still a delay?
If your device details are fine, then you move on to your user state and SSO state. The bare minimum is you need to have Azure AD PRT. If you don't have an Azure AD PRT, it signifies something wrong with your user object. Most of the time, it's either your federation server is, if you're federated, is having issues with authentication. If you are on password hash sync or PTA, most of the time it means you have alternate login ID. It means that you most likely have an user principal name on premises for your user that is not understood by Azure. So for my users, if I do, here are my corp users. For Mr. John Doe, my account basically is John Doe at pfe.ninja. It's exactly the same UPN, user principal name, I have for that user in Azure. As long as they match, you will be fine. If they don't match, basically the user principal name suffix of on-prem user needs to be a domain that is verified in your Azure tenant. If it's like pfe.local, you cannot be federated. Hybrid join will not work for you. So looking at this one, my hybrid join right now is fully fixed, fully working, and it should be fine. So at this point, we should have entire single sign-on, complete setup, confirm, continue without signing in. Oh, I already launched Edge. So if I were to launch Office, basically it would grab a primary refresh token and sign me in seamlessly. Because my Office is still updating. It's a Windows 10 Enterprise thingy. If I do sign in, again, slow VM, so you know how it goes. I will need to kill this one almost immediately. And Stefan has dropped. We really need a meme for Stefan. So sign in. And because we are trying to sign in, I should have an account that has on a people picker here with John Doe at pfe.ninja. Because this second part is Azure AD PRT. This is the way you piggyback on your device trust. You get a primary refresh token. Because my brain is a stupid brain, I can only read swim lanes. I can only read sequence diagrams. Anything that is trying to do non-swim lanes, I'm kind of busted. And how is PRT renewed? There should be a very nice sequence diagram here. Basically, the way it works like that. PRT issuance during first sign-in. User type, and this one is independent of the way you join your VM, your machine. It can be on-prem join, it can be Azure AD join. Because as soon as the trust is there, you will be getting primary refresh token exactly the same way, either through on hybrid join or Azure AD join machine. So this one, I get single sign-on to anything on-prem because you see, let's get signed. You see, and it figured itself out. It signed me in automatically in Edge because my machine was slow. I can turn on sync, basically single sign-on in everything Microsoft. It works pretty nice, honestly, most of the time. But yeah, that's hybrid join for you. Now I can do something a little bit unorthodox. I can go into settings and I can enroll myself into Windows Hello for Business. So last part inside of the user state, it's NGC. NGC stands for Next Generation Credential. Next Generation Credential was a code name for Windows Hello for Business. So if you have Azure AD PRT set to yes, you can enroll into Windows Hello for Business. And NGC prerequisite check refers to all the prerequisites that need to be done to enroll into Windows Hello for Business. Is device joined basically checks, hey, is your device joined to AAD? Is user in AAD? So basically, are we checking if user has a primary refresh token? Is my policy enabled to enable Windows Hello for Business? And is my post logon enabled? Basically, are we forcing users into, this one is enabling Hello, this one is enforcing it to happen on the next sign-in. Because I'm not forcing it to sign in right now, my users can self-opt-in into Windows Hello for Business. So I go into accounts, sign-in options, and I can basically ask to sign in with a PIN. Windows Hello PIN, sign in with a PIN recommended. And if I add it, something fun will happen. So that's the way users can opt in into Windows Hello for Business. If they are already hybrid joined and have Azure AD PRT, they can straight up ask to sign in with a PIN, and it will enroll them into Windows Hello for Business. By default, it will do something called hybrid key trust, and it has some requirements. Right now, my hybrid key trust is broken. We will be fixing it both for hybrid join and AAD join device in a minute. I just need to make sure that I enroll into PIN. In the meantime, whilst this one is mulling, so my Azure AD joint machine, it's exactly the same Mr. John Doe at pfe.ninja. It's the same gentleman that we can basically lock my screen because I'm not using enhanced session. It impersonates my interactive session. So I can sign in with a PIN, or I can sign in with a password. Because this is an Azure AD joint machine, it by default during out-of-the-box experience required me to do Windows Hello for Business. So let's sign in with a password for now, because we'll come to fixing key trust in a second. John Doe, same nice picture, and I just unlock my device. So because I'm also connected to a VPN on a device, one of the misconceptions, is it, didn't my device activate? Completing the connection. Probably I got idle. So ipconfig, so dsreg-cmd/status again. You see I have Azure AD PRT. You see I have my device object, so everything is spiffy and dandy with regards to Azure single sign-on. That's why I got signed in. So ngc set means I have Windows Hello for Business available for that user. This is the key ID, but I'm not signing in with my, let's see if I'm connected to the VPN. Yeah, this one is connected. So one of the big misconceptions about Azure AD Join, that you don't get single sign-on to on-prem stuff. False. So klist is a command line that can show you how to, what kind of Kerberos tickets do you have. If you want to find your domain controller, nltest ds get dc corp.pfe.ninja. This is the name of my domain. nltest, nls. Basically, it reached out over VPN and found and LDAP pinged my domain controller. So right now, if I want to access a file share, it's as simple as going boom, like that. Right now, the entire Kerberos stack is getting invoked, and I'm starting to get Kerberos tickets. It takes some second because I don't have NetBIOS enabled. And you see I have a bunch of Kerberos tickets. And I can access file shares on my domain controller. And I already have a John Doe at corp.pfe.ninja, which is my SAM account name in the domain. I have CIFS, which is a file share the Kerberos ticket. It is encrypted with AES, and I can access my sysvol. Nothing super fancy. Sometimes when people try doing exactly this, they get a super nasty, hey, we cannot authenticate you message. They get it because they unlock with their PIN. So let's see what's the behavior when we sign in with a PIN. Lock. I won't even sign out. I will just lock and unlock with a PIN. Nothing special. I will purge my tickets. And I will do it like that. Klist purge, klist. And because I'm connected to a VPN, it's trying to do a local domain lookup, and it already says there is something funky going on with your single sign-on. We cannot get a ticket for you. So if I were to try to go to that domain controller again, it will throw me a username and password error. It should throw me a username and password. Oh, I have a logged in session. Darn it. But it basically, I have an SMB session. So if I wanted to klist get, let's find me a ticket that I used to have. I want the SIFs one. Klist get. I'm getting a Kerberos ticket. And I straight up got a Kerberos error message that we cannot do that for you, man. This one is due the way hybrid key trust works. So hybrid key trust uses smart card logon to authenticate to your on-prem AD with hello for business credentials. So basically, it's again another use case where we need to have AD Connect up and running. So I will run an import my Azure Active Directory connector because Hello for Business certificates got provisioned in Azure, and I need to write them back onto a user attribute. That user attribute, do not apply changes. It's called MSDS key credential link. Here is where we write all the key credential links, basically all the Hello for Business credentials on a user object. And because we did a couple of Hello for Business, when we go into ads, we will see that this is my device because I have device write-back enabled. We are trying to create a couple of objects. These are, again, this is my Azure AD, the Azure AD joint device thingy, and we have a few updates. One main update will be my John Doe. Let me find Mr. John Doe. This is Mr. John Alt. So this will be John Doe. This is John Doe. And the thing that we are modifying will be my MSDS key credential link. Searchable device key. This is my previous value, and this is the new one that needs to be added into MSDS key credential link. So when we do now, after an import, we're doing a sync. Let's do delta synchronization because we got some keys from Azure. Oh, and you see this is my hello that is trying to get provisioned. And we have export attribute flow for a user, right? John Doe has a pending modify of MSDS key credential link, old value and new value. New value will have another hello key. So now, because we have two pending exports, we need to do that export. Again, your AD Connect sync cycle will do that for you. We run it, export, we export the changes, and we got two updates. John Doe got the modify MSDS key credential link. So basically my John Doe got an updated key. So when my John Doe got an updated key, oh yeah, I don't trust my domain controller certificates yet. Let's do this like that. This PC, tools. If you want to really see what's going on, oh gosh darn it, you can do this one, Kerberos client logging. Enable Kerberos client logging. Very fun article. Basically, you go with regedit. And we can see why aren't we getting a Kerberos ticket. My educated guess, because our domain controller already knows about my hello key, but I don't trust the signing keys for my domain controller yet. Trusted root certification authorities. Let's see if my PFE Ninja root is here. It's here, but probably my krills are not available. So we need HKLM. Paste, enter. Ha! You can always get to a level. Log level. We need a D word. D word. Log level 1. Okay, let's get event viewer. And in the event viewer, we will have our Kerberos logs. Why aren't we getting a Kerberos ticket? And again, this is the error. If you want, you can also Google for it, or Bing for it. I really like looking into an application log. I don't remember if it's application or system. No, I never remember where Kerberos logs go. I think it's system. Yeah, Bolt, flying solo, Stefan's PC crashed. Basically, it's very hot in Netherlands, so the PC, his PC went haywire. It's like 30 degrees Celsius. And no one in Netherlands does air conditioning, so why would they? This one, well, you can shut down because we don't care about this one anymore. Because Hello for Business and SSO2 on-prem stuff based on PIN works exactly the same, disregarding the join type. So basically, all the single sign-on errors that you might have to on-premises on AADJ machines, you will get because your Hello for Business key trust isn't finished. Oh, so it's probably system. You see security Kerberos. And my guess was right. So client wasn't able to validate revocation for my Kerberos ticket, for my domain controller. Revocation function was not available because revocation server was offline. So when we look at my DC new corp PFE Ninja certificate, it will be in here. It will be in personal store. This is my cert. KDC authentication, this is the one. So if we go into details, krill distribution points, it should be able to reach to LDAP, and it cannot reach to LDAP because it's unauthenticated. So it doesn't work right now because I have a busted krill. If my krill was fine, I would just connect right now. My PKI is not finished, honestly. So yeah, but as soon as that on that VM, let's try again. Still the same thing. You will see a refresh. It's the pre-auth required. This is a regular error. And again, this is just the krill thing. The negative krill got cached, so the negative krill will be there for the foreseeable future until I publish my stuff correctly with certificate revocation lists. So I should honestly do it. I'm just too lazy. So if I lock, yeah, Stephen's machine crashed and he's unable to join. You can always try joining from your phone, man. And as soon as I sign in with my password, and I try doing this one again, boom, works like a charm. So, and now I will also get an event log with Kerberos. This one is just a regular pre-auth required for negotiation. The pre-auth required errors you can straight up ignore because they really don't matter that much. But yeah, at this point, someone needs to join. Oh man, I need to join to finish our stream in a second. Stephen, you need to do it. But yeah, the way it's busted when people think their Azure AD join doesn't get on-prem, there is literally an article, Azure AD join SSO on premises. A big article. Alex Philippine, who will be joining us pretty soon. Yep, he did a pull request on this article, I think, yesterday. Alex, you should know better. When you update an article, you need to update the metadata. Windows Hello for Business requires following this article, and that article is pretty detailed on what you have to do on your krill certificate distribution point. Yeah, so just without a further ado, so if anyone has any questions about Azure AD join and hybrid join, at the end of the day, feel free to tweet at me or Stephen or Steve Cyphus. He basically wrote like half of the code that runs here. Most of the time, when you try doing a new deployment, we strongly encourage you to go into Azure AD join route, because every time you choose Azure hybrid join over Azure AD join for a new deployment, an angel loses its wings and Microsoft kills a kitten. But for real, the only good reason to do regular domain join versus hybrid join these days, it's we don't have Azure AD Labs, local admin password security. That's literally the only reason reliable reason we have seen recently. Everything else just works. If you think that you like GPO for management of your workstations, just don't. Intune is better. Even AirWatch is better than GPOs. But I need to go and find a way to get into restream.io, because I will need to sign in. Of course, luckily I have my password remembered in my traffic lights. Really? Am I the only one that hates Google CAPTCHA? That reCAPTCHA is abysmal. Or I'm a robot and I don't know how traffic lights look. So yeah, at the end of the day, if you follow articles, we will put the links to articles in the VOD for this thing. If your AD Connect is up and running most of the time, you should be fine when it comes to hybrid join. When you get some kind of funky behavior on Azure AD join to on-prem, most of the time it's because your hybrid key trust isn't finished. You need to do some couple of things with AD Connect. and certificates on your domain controller. Let me find the restream. There we go. This is the restream. Oh man, I have no clue what I'm doing. I have no access. So yeah, I have no idea how to finish the stream. Who can help me? Let me ping someone on chat. I'm struggling right now. I have like 3 people watching. So yeah. Already streaming. I cannot go live. So how do I stop the stream? I have no clue how. Burn your computer. But the thing is, I wonder what happens when I just drop from. I want to raid someone with a couple of people, but nah. Beauty of the thing, right? Again, keep your AD Connect healthy. If you keep your AD Connect healthy, you will be fine. Yeah, Bolt says just burn my PC. It's my